You cannot.
Mr. Homan, according to the rules of this committee,
of enacting laws.
Mr. Homan, your time is expired.
That video just gives me all the inspiration I need to move forward with my day. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Representative Ocasio-Cortez, shut Homan down. Now, Tom Homan was the former head of ICE under the Trump administration. And so there was recently a hearing to find some more information about why it was the Trump administration was considering deporting sick children, even as they were receiving health care here in the United States. Now, the hearing was held by a subcommittee within the House of Representatives, and I thought it was fantastic because it reminded us, or at least it reminded me, how important it is to have progressives like AOC and Representative Rashida Tlaib in Congress. Now, this next clip features Representative Tlaib telling Homan what she really thinks about him. Take a look.
As a fellow American, I just want you to know your contribution as acting director of ICE under this administration will always be remembered as one that was very ruthless and inhumane treatment of asylum seekers. As the author of the separation policy and now of this sick, preventing people, sick children before this committee, seeking life-saving medical treatment. I will continue always, this is probably the third time I think you before this chamber, that I'm deeply troubled by your opening statement and continued assault on innocent lives. And I ask that this administration please stop playing politics with the lives of the children before this committee, but also with the lives of many Americans that are directly impacted by the continued broken immigration system in our country. Thank you so much.
So that was a strong statement, but of course Homan didn't like it and he wanted to respond to it immediately. At that point, Representative Ocasio-Cortez jumped in and said, your time is up, I apologize, we need to move on. At that point, ranking member Chip Roy decided to give up some of his time and allow Homan to make his statements, and here's how it went down.
What we don't want to talk about is nearly 90% of everybody ICE arrests for immigration violations either have a criminal history or are pending criminal charges when they were found. I mean, they were found in a county jail, which most likely means they weren't a choir boy. So to mismeasure what the work the men and women of ICE do is, I find appalling that a member of Congress would throw that out there like that. In my 34 years, I've never seen such hate toward a law enforcement agency in my life that you want to abolish them rather doing your job and legislate.
Homan, your
if they don't like it, legislate. You can't.
Mr. Homan, according to the rules of this committee,
of enacting laws.
Mr. Homan, your time is expired. The chair now recognizes Ms. Hill.
I love that.
That's a strong gavel smack. It was loud. Yeah, everyone was like, whoa.
Yeah, behind, yeah. Just taking zero responsibility whatsoever. We're supposed to believe that 90% of everyone, it's because they've all had some violent crime. Every single one.
So the statistic that he's citing includes individuals who committed immigration-related crimes.
Yeah.
So that just means crossing the border,
tautology or whatever.
In the way that they don't like. And let me just remind you all that when asylum seekers were attempting to come into the country through ports of entry, there were reports that our border patrol were purposely blocking the port of entry to prevent them from coming in the legal way. So they are obstructing the way this process is supposed to be done legally, and then they turn around and they point to these asylum seekers and refer to them as criminals when they made it impossible for them to seek asylum the so-called legal way.
We saw videos and pictures of people with their babies sleeping on the bridge.
Yeah, those are criminals.
We saw that.
Yeah.
We saw, yeah, absolutely. So,
and one other thing, I mean, look, they're having this hearing about the decision that the Trump administration was actually going to move forward with, but they backtracked after there was backlash.
Right.
There were undocumented children in this country who were receiving medical care, in some cases children with cancer. And so, and there aren't that many of them. There's about 1,000 of them every year who apply to remain in the United States until they finish their medical treatment. And the Trump administration was just like, no, we're gonna go ahead and deport all of them. We're not interested. And again, there was enough backlash that they changed course or reversed course, which is why protesting these policies is important. It does work sometimes.
Yeah, it's just so refreshing to see representatives of Congress being willing to confront these things head on in an aggressive manner, right? Because for so long, Democrats have been very conflict averse. Like they always feel that if they create conflict with the Republicans, that they'll end up losing. So that's created a situation in which they try to shy away from big fights. And I remember like 10 years ago when Elizabeth Warren kind of burst onto the scene, like she got famous basically by just confronting, awful bank CEOs right to their face and telling them that they're awful people right to their face. And that, that caused like a huge public support for what she was trying to do. And this is the same case here, in which, this guy, Thomas Homan, who's like a, cartoon fascist, an actual member of Congress is willing to say, you're a disgusting human being, right to his face in the House.
What does it say? What does it say about our lawmakers that so many of them are either complicit in what's going on or so incredibly weak in their approach in fighting back against the Trump administration that lawmakers, a few lawmakers stand out so much because they're simply doing their job, right?
They're being a proper opposition party.
Right.
And it's not surprising because I don't think very many people are just weak. I think more people support this rhetoric, support this hate than were able to be open and honest about it before Trump got into office.
There's also like this deeply ingrained sensibility that the people on the other side are not bad people. They just disagree on the issues. And if you can have some sort of, we could just say, talk it out in a tete-a-tete or maybe grab some beers, we'll all just, and like the Republicans don't think that. They don't really think that.
Right.
They think Democrats are all, disgusting, sleazy, deranged, depraved, like.
Yeah, and what they do is they take advantage of that, I don't know, I guess that instinct for civility on the left and they, ram certain things through the process that they want to get done. They stack the courts with conservative judges. They get things done. Like they are very well organized. It's not just the lawmakers themselves, but there's an entire apparatus outside of Congress that supports them, that funds them, that pushes propaganda in media, that pushes propaganda on college campuses. I mean, the Koch brothers have been funding science departments on university campuses for a while now.
Right.
And that has an impact on the education. And it's hilarious because you'll hear the right wing argue that college campuses are all about left-wing indoctrination. They're saying that because it's projection. They know that they rely on their wealthy individuals, their wealthy donors to influence these departments through their money. And it's happening all the time while we have congressional Democrats sitting back and talking about having civil discourse. There's no civility left. Like we need to move away from this ridiculous notion that we can have a debate with the right wing.
The TYT Plus app is now available on iOS and Android. Download to get more TYT content at tyt.com/app.